Hope you're having a wonderful day. Hopefully, I earn your sub. I'm at 927 subs, so almost there to 1,000. So, EA announces new Black Panther game from some of the developers behind Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor. Now, this is really exciting because Middle Earth Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War are extraordinary games. The Nemesis system is still praised by one of the best dynamic systems in gaming. Basically, what it does is it creates NPCs that are randomized over a series of instructions based on the player's actions and based on the actions of the overall world. Like, you'll sometimes have NPCs that develop new techniques, they'll have new evolutions, they'll come back to life. It's an extraordinary experience. I highly recommend Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War as some of the best action adventure fantasy games you can play. Avoid Golem at all cost. But either way, I know EA is looked down upon by a lot of people in the gaming industry, me included, but they actually have a pretty good track record when it comes to single player games recently. Like, for example, Dead Space. It's extraordinary. As a longtime Dead Space fan, this was a fantastic remake. Jedi Survivor. Now, look, this game came out in a very broken state. It was unfinished, unpolished. I'm not going to justify the way it launched, but underneath it all, it is an extraordinary game, and they've resolved a lot of the issues with the game. I'm not sure about the PC version, but the console version runs a lot better. A lot of the issues have been resolved, so it's still a very good game. Not going to, again, not justifying the way it launched. The way it launched, it was in such a terrible state. But yeah, but for the most part, the game is, I think, a Black Panther game from the people who did the Shadow of War series, Shadow of Mordor series, would be an extraordinary idea. And I especially hope that they don't Marvelize this movie. Like, if you know anything about modern Marvel, they follow a formula where they undercut a lot of serious moments in their shows and movies with humor, and it's completely abhorrent. It just sucks. It ruins the tension of everything. I really hope they take not only the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor approach, but they also take the Batman Arkham approach, where if it's going to be serious, maintain that theme of seriousness. Now, I didn't play the Marvel Avengers Black Panther DLC. I did play the core game. It sucked. I was just so zoned out by the game. I don't remember almost nothing about the game other than Kamala Khan. I think that's the main character. I don't know, the stretchy woman whose name I just don't care about. She was just like so annoying, and the fact that everyone followed under her despite being, veteran members of the Avengers, not to mention like everyone blamed the Avengers for the calamity that wasn't their fault. It's just a whole can of worms. Really, just don't follow that story. Build it on the pure essence of what people like from Marvel. Like, after I saw the movie, I thought it was, it was okay. I read up on Black Panther, and he's a very violent individual. They kind of sugarcoat him in the movie, but he's very violent, he's very aggressive, and very protective of his people. Take that approach. I really hope they do that. But he's a very smart and understanding person, but when you threaten Wakanda, Wakanda first, he'll, take whatever measures necessary. EA has confirmed the heavily rumored Black Panther game, although it failed to mention a release window or intended platforms. Chances are it will come out in maybe 2026 on modern hardware. The single-player action-adventure game based on Marvel's Black Panther is in development at a new Seattle-based EA studio called Cliffhanger Games. So this is Cliffhanger Games. They have the basic PR marketing statements, and if you look at their main website, it's just their first game is the Black Panther game, so they don't have anything. I'm not sure about this logo. I mean, it looks okay, but maybe it's just me. Dude, I hate these ads. I lost my place. EA did not release any screenshots or video of this Black Panther game, but they did say it's an original third-person single-player adventure developed in partnership with Marvel Games. The logo below. Oh, please don't turn it into like one of those Marvel films and TV shows. I'm begging you. The project is led by Kevin Steffens, who was Monolith Studios' head during the development of Shadow of Mordor's franchise. EA said others who worked on the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor, along with veteran Halo, Infinite, God of War, and Call of Duty, are already part of Cliffhanger. So they have a pretty good team if they have people from these studios, God of War in particular. Look, I know a lot of controversies around Halo Infinite and its multiplayer lack of content, but I think the single player is really good. I still think Halo Infinite single player is incredible of how they went from Halo 4 and Halo 5 where they treated Master Chief like some sort of superhero to returning to his roots of being just, a regular soldier. Like, yeah, he's a Spartan, but the whole idea of Master Chief is that he's just lucky. Like, he's like a Spike Spiegel, and the reason why the live action just didn't work was because they tried to treat him as a superhero as well. He's not supposed to be a hero or a superhero. He's supposed to be just some regular guy who's very lucky. And I still think Halo Infinite's campaign is pretty good. I mean, it's definitely the best out of 343's catalog of Halo Infinite content, but it's not saying much, but it's good. But God of War, Call of Duty, I will assume is more of like they want to work on the shooting element. So if they have shooting parts of the game, which they likely will because it's Wakanda and they have a highly advanced projectile technology. We're dedicated to delivering fans a definitive and authentic Black Panther experience, giving them more agency and control over their narrative than they have ever experienced in a story-driven game. So the way I read this, it's going to be optional story, like in the sense that you're going to have dialogue options. I kind of hope they don't do that. I'm not a fan of that because I feel like, some games can do it, but it's not always well executed. Like, you have Mass Effect where it's very well done, or Dragon Age, but then you also have like Horizon where it's just done for cosmetic purposes, where it's there if you want to know more about the story, and they kind of shift Aloy's personality, but at its core it doesn't really do anything. They kind of toned it down in Forbidden West, which I liked, but I still don't think it's that much of an important issue. I would prefer it if the cutscenes just play and have a definitive personality of who the person is. Wakanda is a rich superhero sandbox, and also that means open world, I'm going to assume. And our mission is to develop an epic world for players who love Black Panther and want to explore the world of Wakanda as much as we do. So the way I'm seeing this is that it's going to be an open world game with dialogue options, maybe with the side missions where you can take them down on multiple paths in order to complete them, which I'm okay with because Black Panther is a combination of both stealth and heavy combat. He's a heavy hitter, but he's also extremely agile. So maybe that's what they're going for the idea. You have the option if you want to just bust through the door and just kill everyone, or if you want to take the more stealthy approach. And that's going to be a tall order to fill, but, if they have this talent, we'll see. Word is that Steven has started a new EA studio emerged over 2 years ago, but in today's announcement, EA said Black Panther is still in early development and with a long road ahead, so don't hold your breath waiting for this one to come out anytime soon. Black Panther is one of many Marvel games in the works at the moment, including at EA. In October, EA and Marvel signed a multi-title deal for at least 3 action-adventure games for console and PC. The first of these was an Iron Man game and from Star Wars Squadrons and the Dead Space remake maker Motive Studios. A Black Panther game from the same brains behind Shadow of Mordor is exciting prospect. Yeah, especially if they have the Nemesis system in there. Oh wait, they can't. This is EA. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. Warner Brothers owns the Nemesis system. But they can create their own type of system. I know Warner Brothers tried to copyright the Nemesis system, but it didn't go over well. I don't think they have the rights to that because you can't copyright gameplay concepts. I believe you can trademark gameplay systems, like the Nemesis system as a whole, but the factors that make up the Nemesis system you can't. And to reverse engineer something like that, I feel like would be an extreme tall order. Maybe they'll take elements from that. Not really sure, but the Nemesis system in Black Panther, I think that would be so cool. But I was thinking like WB. If WB was making this, definitely would be like the Nemesis system will be in that game. I don't know why they don't put that in more of their games, WB. If they put the Nemesis system into Gotham Knights, that game would have been way better. 2014 Shadow of Mordor is a solely based game. Nemesis system. EA said the Black Panther game is intended to build on the expansive and reactive world that empowers players to experience what it's like to take on the mantle of Wakanda's protector, the Black Panther, which sounds like it may touch on similar mechanics introduced with the Nemesis system. Yeah, like I agree. It won't be a one-to-one recreation because that would be copyrighted. I'm sure WB would sue for that, but they're probably going to implement elements into it. But either way, I think this would be a great game. Like I said, EA kind of takes the approach with Square Enix, where they release a bunch of mobile gacha games, but at the same time, they do deliver AAA extensive games like Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy 16 just came out, Octopath Traveler 2. So they mix it together. Like, okay, we have these, we have Octopath, mobile game, and we have the full length AAA version of the game. We have the Final Fantasy mobile games, but we also have Final Fantasy 16, Final Fantasy 7 Remake. We have the Dragon Quest mobile game, but we also have the, actual Dragon Quest game. I don't believe those mobile games are really real games in the sense, because they have a lot of gacha mechanics and it's mostly pay to win, at least from what I saw. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I think it would be a great game. And like I stated, EA does their single player games well enough in recent memory that I kind of trust them on this. Just don't, repeat this. So tell me what you think. I'd like to hear other people's opinions. I may not be the biggest Black Panther fan. I just saw the movie and read a few articles about his back history. But also another thing that I'll take up from the article is that they said Black Panther. So it could not be, it may be King T'Challa, or it might be someone entirely different. You never know. And I'm actually open to that. I would love to explore other characters that aren't King T'Challa. Like with Batman, I'm kind of surprised they never introduced a different version of Batman, because we all know there are, different iterations of Batman similar to Spider-Man. We did get Miles Morales, and I would love to play Spider-Gwen one day. So I would like if they did that with, Black Panther. But then again, a lot of people would want to play as King T'Challa for the first game. But, we'll wait and see. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Like it the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you dislike it. That's me signing out. Have a good day.